Hello and welcome back to Beyond the Veil background information. Today we're doing another Angels and Demons recording, and we're going to be doing another one of the Watchers or the Grigori. Now, apart from Azazel and Senyaza, a lot of the other remaining Watchers have only got barely, just tiny little bits of information available around them. So they will be short, but from my profile that I do at the end, which will also be a bit short in places because, as I said, I haven't got that many ideas going for them at the moment. Anyway, let's start this. Araqiel was a being that seemed to at least pretend to have taken their punishment seriously. Though the other members of the Watchers had accepted being cut from their bonds to wander purgatory for eternity, Araqiel had only asked to be sat back up onto their rock and to be left there tethered. They spent their time in the seeming process of meditation, but always one of their three eyes would remain open and watching everyone and everything that moved around them. That's from Our Infernal Affair. Listed as one of the leaders of the Watchers under Senyaza, Araqiel is one of the 200 angels that reject God in order to indulge in their lust of the flesh. Like all the Watchers mentioned in the Book of Enoch, he vowed to ignore the rules of God and make himself almost godlike upon the earth, by breeding and ruling over man, spawning Nephilim, and leading to the flood. Araqiel is heralded as one of the 20 leaders, and yet, like the other named leaders, the information on him is limited. Like all the fallen angels and all the named angels, there are variants in the spelling and meaning to their name. Most hold that Araqiel means Earth of God, and the name varies in adding a U to Araqiel, Araqiba, who is sometimes listed as a separate entity from Araqiel, Arkas, or Saraquel, as well as the most common spelling, removing the Q for a K. In this form, Araqiel is also called Aretzikata, apologies for bad pronunciation, in chapter 69, and this new name is purported to mean world of distortion. In all of the translations of Enoch, it can be seen that some names change as well as some duties, and it can vary from chapter to chapter. Hence, there are various names but little information useful for other authors. Aside from deciding to settle down to raise a family, like many of the Grigori originally sent to watch over Earth, Araqiel held on to information that was shared with humanity. This hidden knowledge, in Araqiel's case, is regarding the secrets of the Earth. It's not clear whether this could mean as in the quality of Earth to farm on, or the mineral content, or showing them where precious metals could be found, but it is deemed forbidden knowledge. However, once more, it is not necessarily Araqiel sharing this that triggers reproach from heaven. As we previously covered, it was Azazel's sins. I felt that these 20 leaders, aside from the more well-known names, were perfect candidates for any story of their own and for any kind of interpretation into your own literature. As you'll find with the profile of Araqiel, I have flowed within my Beyond the Veil universe. Now, of course, I haven't really got a place for most of these guys to go, but Araqiel and a few others are being included into one of my stories, so they are a little more fleshed out, but history-wise it's in bullet points again. Name, Araqiel, position, watcher, /fallen name. Story featured in Our Infernal Affair. Role, advisor, gender, neuter, formerly male. Description, in a human form they were handsome with golden-coloured skin that shone like holy light and soft earth and brown hair, their eyes beautiful and green like fresh grass, and their wings a mixed field of beautiful flowers, blues and purples and goldens and whites. He was beautiful, and wherever his feet went the earth came to life, but within his left hand was something a little unsettling to humans, another eye that he would use to watch them when he would take moments to meditate. When he was punished, his wings were cut off and his stumps became withered sticks. His whole form withered and seemed akin to a petrified tree, with only the eye in his hand always open and green where his others had dulled. Realm Purgatory. Abilities. Once was able to turn the earth to be filled with seeds and encourage the grass to grow, as well as to teach others how and when the earth was ready to be used for agriculture, and what could be used for other things. Master unclear. Personality cautious and quiet. Araqiel was a true watcher, listening to the earth and the words of others, and rarely opening their mouth to speak. He is considered the wisest of the watchers, and yet his own interest in the flesh and his innate curiosity overtook his logic. He is loyal, though, to his companions, and even after the punishment has not forsaken them. Relations. For the moment, I will leave this blank, as aside from being best friends in a sense of Senyaza, his relationships with all other angels was actually rather ambivalent, and for his relationships with humans, it's a little more awkward. History. Simply put, Araqiel was a watcher born in heaven. With the watchers, he took on the duty of the secrets of the earth and did his job well, but found himself fascinated by the idea of turning into a male. But when Lucifer seemed to encourage that, this meant that they should turn against everything else. Araqiel stepped away and returned to a neuter gender along with the other watchers. He also chose not to battle with Lucifer's group. But when the situation with the humans began to show that humans got more freedom than the angels, Araqiel would listen to others and consider his options. What he began to see as he watched, however, was the fact that humans could find a great connection, a different kind of love that included coupling and reproduction. This was something he knew Lucifer had brought up, and yet he did not want to be equal. He wanted to share those experiences with the humans. When this came up with Semyaza, Araqiel agreed to join him and with the others swore a vow of disobedience, and he took a legion of 10 angels to an area where he settled and had a family. It was a comfortable family, too, with much love and affection until the human died and Araqiel understood mortality. He tried, though, to have the same with others, and yet it was not the same. When the end came and he was punished, he permitted his counterpart Ramiel to hack his wings off swiftly and accept their fate, enjoying the memories and contemplating the stakes. Then, when the young demons rebelled and cut the watchers down, Araqiel instead asked to remain tied but to sit on top of the rock where he was bound and offer advice to all. Final comments. An odd being, to be sure. Their experience with humans is something I want to consider for later, but I hope you found them interesting. Thank you. Bye.